Good afternoon, everybody. Today's video, it is escalating. I'll be right back and I'll explain what I'm referring to and why it actually concerns me. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you're having a good day. Hopefully, this warning will simply be a warning and a conjecture and nothing else. But it is something I wanted to bring up to folks because it's becoming a thing on other platforms that may be an issue for many of us. What I'm talking about, I'm sure by now many of you have heard of the 4B movement. This was a movement, if I recall correctly, that started in South Korea and in Japan, and it was meant as a movement by women to protest against abusive men, rape, uh, excuse me, incest, things like that. It was meant to be a way for women to create awareness. It's been hijacked by leftists in the country, and not because somebody was actually raped or mutilated or hurt or murdered or incest or anything like that. It is in response to the recent election. People truly believe that because President-elect Trump is taking office again and won all three houses as he rolled into his role, um, that they're going to go to jail. There's going to be some massive shift in the rights that they have, which, if you believe this, that's fine. I disagree. But even if you do believe it, what they're doing, they're acting in a bizarre way. They're shaving their heads. They're wearing masks for no reason. Many of them said, we're not going to have sex with our men for 4 years. All sorts of weird stuff. And up until today, the day I'm recording this, I actually thought it was pretty innocuous. It was just an act of protest to create awareness. And I was like, okay, I don't agree, but you can do you. And I'm fine with that. But it has escalated now, and it's escalated to the point where now it's becoming weird. So the 4B movement is now on, specifically on TikTok and X, are trying to create momentum, and they are, and it's starting to show up on Instagram now, where they are going to attack whoever they perceive to be a conservative woman or a Southern woman or a redneck woman, which I find very interesting because this is the very far left fringe. A lot of the people they're describing, like mothers of children, there are lots of Democrats who are mothers of children who may have Christian or Judeo-Christian beliefs, but that doesn't matter. If they perceive you to be more conservative than they are, that little bubble they're in, they have said that they are going to start attacking people. Now, a few other channels had mentioned, there was one woman in particular who said she was going to go and shoot white men on sight. But what they're doing, they said they're going to target the conservative women or women who they feel are not liberal enough. So you could be an intellectual liberal, you could be a Democrat, you could have voted for Kamala Harris, but you may not be in their bubble. And so they feel it's appropriate to lash out at you, even if your kids are present. As a matter of fact, there was one person on TikTok who I think they got their channel kicked off, actually went so far as to say, let's target the women that have kids because they can't fight back as much, which apparently they don't know Spanish women, especially in Texas, because you'll get cut or shot really bad. Forget the chancla, you'll get all sorts of other stuff. But now there's another movement. Same group of people. Back in Italy in the 1600s, there was a alchemist who was a cosmetologist as well. It was a woman who, in response to women coming in for their cosmetology and their hair, whatever it is she did for them, they were coming and beaten up because of abusive husbands. She concocted a poison, that an ancient poison using various ancient plants, that, and I'm going to refrain from using the name on this video because I don't want to perpetuate the name so people get stupid ideas, but assume it's just an ancient alchemist's trick to create a poison. And allegedly this woman did away with, 2, 3, 400 men in Italy because women would come and beat up and they were poisoning the husband in some way, shape, or form. They are now saying poison Not only beat up the conservative women, let's poison the conservative men. If you're in the restaurant and you see a man you think is conservative, poison his drink. They're telling wives, if you didn't agree the way your husband voted, poison him. That way he'll learn. Well, you kill him, that'll be the end of that. I guess he won't learn anything. Um, that's deranged and it's increasingly crazy. And now what we're seeing with now what I'm also seeing is the FAFOS, fuck around, find out sisters, who are now reacting to this other group and saying, touch my husband, touch my kids, we will shoot you. And now it's starting to escalate on the fringes. Inevitably, most of us are not going to go poison our neighbor or spouse, and we're not going to go and beat up random people or shoot them. But my concern is it's going to give ideas to a lot of mentally unstable people who are already shaving their head and doing whatever other thing they're doing to go and act out. This bothers me. Honestly, this movement, I think, which was meant to make awareness in a very different culture in Asia, is now being hijacked for the purpose of being detrimental to families and being dangerous to people in general. I mean, who does these things? Who talks about these things? This is not normal conduct. I think all of us can agree since 2020, mental illness has just gone rampant. And instead of trying to mitigate it or address it or make awareness of it, they've encouraged it and endorsed it. And in doing so, it's creating a dangerous environment for all the rest of us who are largely in the middle, whether you're a little left or a little right, who just want to go about their day. And that's unfortunate because our communities right now, with inflation, with the threats overseas, we need to be one people, even if we don't agree on everything, and not trying to find ways to kill each other's spouses or hurt each other's kids. This just, I can't even compute this. So, in any case, if you're interested in hearing more, feel free to email me, theroamingprep@gmail.com. I'll give you a little more detail. I don't want to perpetuate the specific toxin and the other stuff. Honestly, it's a very simple toxin. It's probably 5 ingredients, but how to make it correctly apparently is rather advanced. It's a process that takes hours. It's a bit of alchemy and chemistry. But the fact that people are thinking this is okay is a concern because now you can't go out and you have to worry about, well, geez, I'm out with my family, I'm out with my friends, and some person who didn't like something I did is going to drop something in my drink, even though I've done nothing to them because they perceive me to be a certain way. So, folks, pay attention to where you're going. Watch if you're out and about, you're vacationing, you're hiking, vacationing, you're out on the town, or even if you're just shopping, watch your kids, watch each other, and watch yourself. And again, I don't like doing the fear mongery thing, but we're seeing a lot of violent crimes against women, a lot of random crimes in my state. And there's a lot of grabbing of kids lately, and that concerns me. They're going after families. I don't like that. That pisses me off. But we need to be aware because the cops can't be everywhere. They're already defunded. So it's going to take years to fix that. You don't want to be caught off guard. If you have a means to protect yourself and your kids, do it. If you have non lethal methods, that's just as good. Something to fall back on if something gets out of hand. That's it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Be good, be safe. God bless. And I will see you on the next video. Take care of yourselves out there.